you so much for joining us. I am Eric Ozemba, the Executive Director of the Longmont Community Foundation, and I just wanted to welcome you to our annual report function. It's a very informal event, and we just want you to mingle, but we wanted to take just a few minutes to give you a little bit of update on what's going on at the Community Foundation, so thank you so much for letting me interrupt your moments here with everybody. I want to remind everybody, it's really your foundation. It's not my foundation, it's not my private foundation, it's your foundation, which means we're by the people, meaning we're formed by volunteers, by committed members of the community. We're for the people. Well, I should say we're also for animals too, and the environment as well. But we provide services for people, animals, the environment, and provide funding for general operating for nonprofits in a variety of specialties. And then, of course, we're of the people, which means that we rely on the leadership, the volunteers that provide so much to us, the scholarship committees that do so much in picking out scholarships, those great candidates for us each and every year. The Grants Committee, we have about 17 members of the Grants Committee that also review the proposals, go out and visit those organizations each year and review the grants. Culminates into the April Grants Breakfast each year, and we are so grateful to have their support too as well. So we're community-led with community in mind, of course. I want to specifically thank our donors for working with us and our business partners. You'll see a rotating slideshow on either one of the walls. If you just pay attention to those every once in a while and just think about the businesses that provide us support each and every year. We're really grateful for their support. I want to thank the Board of Trustees and the Scholarship and Grant Committees. I already thanked them, but I would like to thank them again because it's in the script, so I need to thank them again because I can't go off script. I also want to recognize the work of two really great people at the foundation that I work with each and every day. Christine Magnarella-Ray, who's been over in the back checking you in. She is our finance officer. And also Marjorie Weibel, who is our scholarship director. She is right here. Both of them do a fabulous job, and I'm honored to work with them, like I said, each and every day. I also want to thank members of City Council and the City of Longmont for attending this as well. I saw Brian wandering around here with a backpack, so there he is. And Sean over here somewhere too as well. Not sure where Sean is, but thank you. There he is, right in front of me. Thank you so much for being here too as well. And then finally, I also want to give a shout out to a really good friend of mine, Richard Mayle, who's here and made it all the way up from Denver. He's a former mentor and boss, so if you want to know some dirt about me, where I used to work with Rich, you can talk to Rich, but he's just a terrific friend, so I really appreciate you coming up here, Rich. Appreciate it. A few years ago, this young guy, who happened to be one of Rich's students, came to me. We met over lunch, and I said, hey, would you like to join our grants committee? Well, several years later, and several committees later, he has risen to be our board chair. I am just so amazed by his leadership. I mean, he is a firefighter for the city of Boulder, a native to Longmont, raises his girl, and has a great family, and just does an amazing job for the community, serves on 3 boards, and he's aspired to become the board chair for the Longmont Community Foundation. You do so much, Matt, so thank you so much for being here. Appreciate that.
Much to hold, I gotta put it on there. Thank you for your kind words, Eric, and thank you all for being here. My name is Matt Zavala, and I'm the president of the Board of Trustees for the Longmont Community Foundation, which in itself is an honor, but as Eric said, I've lived in Longmont my whole life, born and raised here, Burlington Elementary, Sunset Middle School, Niagara High School, and love this town. And now my wife and I, we have a 2-year-old, Chloe. Can't think of a better place to raise her and show her what community is all about, and to serve on the board of trustees for the Longmont Community Foundation. Longmont is a great place, but our nonprofit community really makes this a great place to live and work. There's those little things that people don't even think about, the quality of life we have here, the sense of community. A lot of that has to do with our nonprofit. So for all of you, for all of you that are involved with nonprofits, either as executive director or volunteer for them, thank you for what you do, because it makes our work on the Community Foundation just that much better. I was having coffee with Eric last week, and I was saying, the Community Foundation, we could think of ourselves up here, but really we're down here and we're helping all these other nonprofits do great work. So it's really rewarding work to be a part of. So rewarding that this year we've already granted $960,000, and we're on pace to set our record year. So we're really proud of that, something to be celebrated. So that wouldn't happen without Eric's leadership, the staff, and the Board of Trustees. So that's a round of applause for 52% of our grants provided to human services, 15% to education, 17% to religious institutions, 6% to health, 5% to arts, 3% to disaster relief, and 2% to animals. And we provide sponsorship to the Boulder County Multicultural Awards Ceremony, the Hispanic Education Foundation Scholarship Ceremony, Longmont Chamber of Commerce Nonprofit Award, Nest to Wings College Prep Seminar, and the Longmont Chorale, the Longmont Symphony, and Firehouse Arts Chalk Fest. We provide partnership and assistance to people looking to start and improve their community, like Longmont Loves. That was created this year after family in our community received a hateful letter that they were no longer welcome here, and the Longmont Community Foundation was able to assist that neighborhood with creating the Longmont Loves, which is, you can see the sign, it'll be on the slideshow. We come to the community once a year to ask for monetary support for our operations. I encourage you to look for in the mail for a letter from the trustees, or go online to support the foundation for all the work we do for the community. We're in the midst of launching our ambitious scholarship program, Ascend St. Vrain, and here to talk more about that is Marjorie Weibel. Marjorie?
Well, thank you, Matt, and thank you all for being here. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's really near and dear to my heart, and I'm really excited about. If you're a person of a certain age, or you have a child that's a late teenager, or a grandchild that's a late teenager, you innately understand how the group with the highest amount of debt after post-high school education is the lower middle class to middle class. And with over 2,000 graduates in our local school district, we wanted to help with that problem. So we started Ascend St. Vrain to help. Ascend St. Vrain is meant to help students that want to work hard and that they know what they want to do after graduation. From the first year, it's designed to ensure students get to graduation. Studies have shown that if a student knows a scholarship is going to be there next year, they're more likely to continue their education this year, and then they will eventually get to graduation. Ascend also recognizes that the path after high school is not always college, which is kind of new around here. We've all thought after high school, you need to go to college. But there's a lot of good jobs out there that you can get a certification through a technical school or a vocational school. In fact, I was just talking to a company last week, and right from high school or through one certification program, they can be making $23 to $25 an hour. That's a great pay for not a lot of education. And there's a lot of kids that can do that. And the problem is that this company can't find enough people to hire. They would hire as many people as they could find if they could find them. So Ascend needs to raise $100,000 before it can start handing out scholarships, and I'm really excited to say we're up to $69,000 right now. In fact, we also have a donor who has given us a challenge grant that if we raise $20,000, which actually we're up to 9, so 11,000 or more, they'll get us to the 100,000, the remaining part. So 11,000 is doable by the end of this year. So I'm really excited. I've already started creating the applications, creating the scholarship committees, creating the selection criteria, and it would be just such an awesome thing to get to the 100,000 so we can start handing out scholarships next year in Ascend St. Vrain's name. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Marjorie. I think I'll try to clip this too. All right. I forgot how I was supposed to do this. I used to do it at PBS, but I've forgotten that. All right, so now our last presentation is about our investments, so we really feel like it's necessary and it's a really good thing for us to do to talk about our investment performance for the year. And I want to thank our investment committee, Gene Schnabel, who is the chair of the investment committee. He'll be joining me in a bit. Monica Baldwin, and also Matt Gore, Sam Knapp, Mark Bowman, and Jake Van Kessel. A little bit about the people who are actually going to talk about the investments. So Gene Schnabel. Gene recently retired with 40 years of accounting and finance experience, 32 of those years with Emerson Electric, St. Louis-based conglomerate. Gene is a South Dakota native and earned his BA and MBA degrees in business and finance. Gene has been here now in the community for 9 years. Okay, awesome. Well, we're grateful to have his service as chair of the finance committee or the investment advisory committee. Monica joined Raymond James in 2003 and has more than 30 years of experience in the financial industry. Monica has been a member of Raymond James Executive Council for the past 13 years. This year she achieved membership in the Raymond James 2018 Leaders Council. Congratulations. Monica and her husband Bill, having relocated from Dunlap, Iowa in 1984, live near Longmont. They have 2 wonderful children, Nick, 23, and Megan, 19. Jake Van Kessel, financial advisor at Merrill Lynch. Jake and his team manage the financial affairs of families across the U.S. from their office in Boulder. Jake and his wife Megan have been in Longmont for 14 years, have 2 children, ages 7 and 5. Jake has been active in the Longmont Community Foundation since 2010 when I had a breakfast with him and asked him to be on the grants committee, and he left that committee and now he's on the investment advisory committee. When Jake isn't in the office, you can find him at the family out on the course at Fox Hill, the rink at the Longmont Ice Pavilion, or skiing one of our many mountains. So if you please give a warm welcome to Gene and Monica. And Jake, of course. Jake is leading.
Happy to be the caboose.
You're doing cleanups.
Well, good evening, everyone. The investment policy, which governs the investment process we have here, provides guidance and gives the structure that for managing our assets. And the key elements of those of our investment policy is preservation of capital, meeting our spending and granting process, and then understanding the risks of the investments. The Investment Advisory Committee provides oversight to our investment banker, Colorado National Bank. And we meet 4 times a year in order to get updates from Colorado National Bank. And we also make recommendation and report to the Board of Trustees on what we found from those meetings. The Investment Committee also sends out a request for proposal every 5 years in order to make sure that we find the best investment bankers in order to achieve our results. The first account I'd like to talk about is our main account, and the asset mix is the primary driver of the main account in order to optimize our returns and to balance the risk. We have about 34% of our funds in fixed income. We have 55% in equities and 11% in alternative investments. Part of our responsibility is to make sure that we adhere to our investment policies, that we are achieving the returns that we had laid out in that policy. And we get help from Colorado National Bank, from their investment committee, asset allocations committee, and their due diligence to provide input into as we sell and review our portfolio. I'd like next to turn it to Monica, who's going to talk about the returns of that.
Hi, I'd like to take just a minute to thank everyone for being here tonight as well, and I think thank you to Eric for all the leadership he shows. So I'm happy to report to you that the year-to-date investment returns on our main investment pool, we are up 10.95%, which is beating our benchmark, which is 9.39%. And that is because, again, it's comprised of 55.1% equities, 29.5% fixed income, 11.5% alternatives, and just a little under 4% of money markets and equivalents. So again, as G noted, capital preservation is very important to us, along with meeting our gifting and as well as getting some growth. So there you go.
We created a second fund in February 2016, which is Social Responsibility Fund. And a way to provide an opportunity for donors to select a different fund. The portfolio is constructed through some screening process we have of social and environmental donors, and to provide guidance to select the proper investments. So, for instance, it excludes tobacco companies and like weapons systems companies as an example. And the guidelines there are roughly 40% for fixed assets and 60% for equities. And so Monica's going to update you on that now.
Yep, so again, year to date for the Social Responsible Investment Pool, or what we call in our industry the SRI pool, year to date we are up 10.64% versus our benchmark of 10.31. Again, 6.5% equity, 33.7 fixed income, and 3.8 money markets. So again, along with that pool, capital preservation is our primary goal for all of our different investment portfolios.
Next is Jake.
And here's Jake.
You guys didn't think I was going to talk. The investment committee and the board of the Longmont.
I'm going to interrupt a little bit because we do have a third pool now, and that's the investor managed funds. So that is another option that people have. Jake is going to provide a little bit more information about that. So I'm introducing you, Jake.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi, I'm Jake Van Kessel. As Monica mentioned, we do have a new third option. That in conjunction with the investment committee and the board of the Longmont Community Foundation, recognize that some donors may wish to have charitable assets of their fund managed by their own trusted advisor. We now offer the option for donors to have their advisor direct the assets in his or her fund. Our objective is to create a mutually beneficial relationship in which donors can maintain the existing relationship with that trusted advisor and still enjoy the benefits of creating a charitable fund at the Longmont Community Foundation. The Investment Advisory Committee is excited to offer this service as an additional option to donors. And now back to Eric for the remaining 2 hours of the presentation. And he's happy to answer any questions regarding alpha, beta, asset allocations. It's all yours.
All right, okay, so now we're going to talk about philosophy. That was my degree, so we'll be talking about epistemology. No, I'm kidding.
Told you it was 2 hours.
It's 2 hours. Actually, it could be a lot longer than 2 hours, but I just wanted to thank you all for being here. Monica wanted me to point out that our investments are provided, or our investment management is provided by Colorado State Bank and Trust. So if you have any questions at all about any of our investment strategies, feel free to get a hold of these kind people, or you can talk to myself. About Ascend, certainly Marjorie is passionate about Ascend, St. Frame. If you have any questions about the foundation or our structure at all, talk to any of our board members. But thank you so much for being here. Go ahead and mingle. There's plenty of food, there's drink. We have to be out by a certain amount of time, which is 7 o'clock, but we got plenty of time, so have fun. Thank you.